Thanks for tuning in to the Essential RC YouTube channel, and I'm about to do a first test of a Jetcat P160SX turbine engine that I've put in my old Calf Models Ultra Flash. The Calf Models Ultra Flash is a 2-meter wingspan sport jet, fully aerobatic, amazing jet to fly, very slippery, will do 250 miles an hour easily on a 160 engine and faster. I've seen people put 210 Newton engines in this size airframe and go really quick. A 160 Newton engine equates to about 36 pounds of thrust, and the all-up weight of the model with fully fueled is about 27 pounds, I think, so over 1-to-1 thrust to weight ratio, so it'll be really quick. Okay, so let's show you the engine itself. So if I put it on its side, here's the engine, and on the front of it, this T-strainer type device is a FOD guard, foreign object debris guard. It prevents anything going in to the engine. So what can you see in here? On the front of the engine, we've got a motor, electric motor, and that is used by the engine management system, electronic control unit that you get with the engine to pre-spin up the engine, get it up to speed as it starts injecting fuel into the engine. So this isn't a new P160, it's not the latest RXI type version. There are two inputs for the fuel, one for the start sequence and then one for when it's actually running. So let's put that FOD guard back. Main fuel tank, and then there's actually a fuel tank in the wing as well. So one tank feeds into the other, and that's how you connect the two tanks together. And then obviously, as the fuel is being drawn out of this tank into the main tank in the fuselage, air gets drawn into this tank through that vent in the bottom. Okay, so let's put the model the right way up. Got my GoPro mount on top here, and we remove the canopy by pulling on this wire here and take the canopy off. Now, I didn't do the install on this jet. You'll see the installs on a lot of other jets, and it looks like there's virtually nothing inside because they put a nice plate over the top and hide all the electronics underneath. But I like this because you can actually see everything. So here's the main tank, front of the main tank, feeding into the bubble trap, or UAT, universal air trap, and the fuel gets drawn out of that through here into a filter, so that obviously we don't get any crap that was in the fuel into the engine. This is the fuel pump that's drawing the fuel out of the tank, and it goes around here. There are two solenoids here which control the flow into the engine. So one of these open or close basically. One is for the main, the flow of the fuel into the engine when it's starting up, and the other one when it's actually running. And there's a tap here as well, so that I keep that closed when I'm actually putting fuel into the tank, so that fuel doesn't get pushed into the engine while I'm fueling up. You wouldn't want that to happen, because if you did leave that open, then there's a possibility fuel will get pushed into the engine, and when you start up you have what they term a hot start. ECU, engine control unit, is here. Here's my receiver, and I think That's more or less it, with the exception of the ECU battery, which is here. So obviously it has to be a fairly chunky battery, so to power the electric motor on the front of the turbine that spins it up. And I've got a couple of receiver batteries down here that plug into the receiver. Okay, so let's turn on the transmitter and we'll try and start this up for the first time. Okay, so we're ready to fire up this engine for the first time. So I've plugged in the two receiver batteries. I've plugged in the ECU battery, which is a 2-cell 4000 milliamp hour battery. I've plugged in my ground support unit, or GSU, and I've also taken out the fuel stopper from the pipe that would ordinarily pick up fuel from the tank in the wing. Don't need that attached in this case. And opened up the fuel switch there, fuel valve there. So we're ready to go. So on the transmitter, basically what I need to do is to go all the way up on the throttle trim. When I do that, I get the light sequence on the GSU and on the PCB here telling me we're ready to start, and all I have to do is go up on the stick, throttle stick, and back to tell it that I want to tell the ECU I'm ready to start the engine. So there's a few bubbles in the fuel line. It should start pulling the fuel through. We should see the glow plug glowing, some fuel being injected into the engine. And if enough fuel is being injected, as it is there, you can see that it's starting to catch and ramp up. Always good to check that there are no air bubbles in the fuel line. All looks good. Running fine, so all I've got to do is go down on the throttle trim to shut the engine down. So that was good, ran perfectly. So it should go into cooling mode now, and that electric motor on the front of the engine spins the engine to cool it down automatically. There you go. Thanks for watching this quick test of that new engine in the Calf Models Ultra Flash, and I've got a couple of things. I've flown this model before, obviously. There are two really great videos, one where I was flying it at a show in front of a paying public, which was a bit nerve-wracking, and also one where I attached a 360 camera. So when you're watching the video, you can use your mouse pointer to look at different orientations as it's flying along. So I'll put both of those links in the video description. But thanks for watching this one. See you again soon.